Hello everyone. Today we'd like to talk about public preschooling. There are 5 members in our group: Chen Lingyan, Hu Yufan, Li Qing, Mao Xinxin, and Yu Fan. Here is our outline. First, we will do a brief introduction. Then we will talk about the properties of preschool and the advantages of preschooling. Finally, we will discuss problems and solutions. Now, let me introduce this article first. The name of this article is a Running Start Free Exchange. It is from the print edition of Economics of 25th, 2016. The main topic of this article is that poor children fall behind early in life, and better preschool education could help. But whether governments should provide preschooling for all is a trickier question. There is a phenomenon that, by the time pupils begin primary school, there is a huge gap in achievement between rich and poor. Sin examined the difference in test scores between children from the rich and the poor, and they find that at age 6 it was already had huge gap and barely diminished by the age of 18. The gap was twice that between black and white students and keep growing. The reason is that the preschool education is before primary school. Researchers suggest that it's because wealthier families can afford preschooling while poor families cannot afford. Then, let's talk about the properties of preschooling. The properties of preschooling education depend on how it is provided. If it's provided by private agency, it's private good. But if it's provided by government, we have to analyze it from two perspectives. For government, the objective is providing public goods for kids in poor families in order to narrow the gap between the poor and the rich. For kids, preschooling is common resources. It's rival since the education resources are limited, and it's not excludable since kids pay nothing to attend preschool system. The advantages of preschooling has become clear in recent years as participants in several long-run studies have grown into adulthood. The article refers to some studies including the Perry Preschool Project and a similar project in North California. The project tested the impact of preschooling. They divided children into test group and control group, then checked their performance. They find the advantages of preschooling are various. For kids, preschooling can help develop a good habit like consciousness, and it can help children improve the language skills and analytical skills. It also has a positive effect on a child's personality. Children will be healthier, less likely to smoke, low obesity, and preschooling can reduce incidence of depression. Children will more likely to be employed as adults and earn higher wage, and they will less likely to be arrested in prison. For society, it can reduce the social crime rate and develop more comprehensive talents for the society. It also can narrow the gap between the poor and the rich.
Problem and solution. Should the government provide free preschooling for all children? We analyze this issue from two perspectives: supply and demand of preschooling. From supply side, the federal government tried to increase the supply of preschooling, but the legislation was rejected in 1971. The reason is that the family value in America was conservative. Nursery education was regarded as private affairs, which did not need strong public responsibilities. Therefore, the government focused on providing free preschooling for low-income people. These days, Under the enormous debt pressure of the welfare society, the donated preschooling have been shrink. Although increasing the supply of preschooling is the most direct way to solve the problem of education inequality in the United States, this approach is infeasible. So the government turned to solve the problem from the demand side. There are two types of government intervention to affect demand. There are economic interventions and other interventions. And there are two methods in economic intervention measures. The first one is tax subsidy to support the upper middle class family choosing private child care center by giving parents tax subsidies. To be specific, in a society, upper middle class families pay more taxes. The main way is that the federal government subsidizing these families' educational expenditure by tax policy. In general, offsetting the federal tax in different proportions according to the family income and giving enterprise fund support to encourage employees to choose private preschooling. The second one is expenditure subsidy. For poor families, there are Head Start programs, TCC, the Transitional Child Care Program, the At-Risk Child Care Program. For all families, there are CACFP, the Child and Adult Care Food Program, which is compensating the meal and nutritious food costs for child care center and families. As for other interventions, government should play a role of supervisor. For example, regulating the access restriction, standard, and the price of preschooling in order to reduce market transaction costs and improve the efficiency of the whole preschooling market supply. Our conclusion is, because of market failure, it is impossible for market itself to solve the preschooling problem without government interventions. Increasing the supply of preschooling is the most direct way to solve the problem of educational inequality. However, considering the budget constraints and contradictions among various policy objectives of government, and also considering richer parents will often opt out of public preschool system, the scope and extent of preschooling are still worthy of further study. Thank you.